You've come to the right place for Heartland content next door. If you're new to this site, today we're going deep into one of Heartland's most anticipated events, Borden's big comeback in Season 19, Episode 1. Fans were on the edge of their seats during this emotional, nostalgic, and powerful character development episode. Ty's return is something you'll definitely want to talk about, whether you've been watching Heartland for a long time or are just getting caught up. Before we jump into the breakdown, make sure you like this video, comment with your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all things Heartland. We hope you'll join our expanding community as we bring you even more exciting content. Let's get started now. The entire family's profound emotional impact on Ty's absence is revisited at the beginning of the episode. For those who've been following Heartland for years, you'll know that Ty's death in Season 14 left a gaping hole in the Heartland family. Amy has struggled to find balance in her life without him, and it's clear that his memory still haunts her. From the very beginning of Season 19, Episode 1, the show sets the stage for his return by carefully exploring the emotional scars his passing has left behind. We watch Amy work with the horses, her connection to Ty's memory, evident in the way she handles the animals. She moves with tenderness, as if she's trying to bring his spirit into the work she loves so much. This slow buildup creates a palpable sense of longing and primes the audience for the moment when Ty finally returns. The writers masterfully play with our expectations, using subtle references to his memory, teasing the idea that maybe, just maybe, Ty could come back. And when that moment happens, it's more than just a plot twist. Fans are holding their breath, as it is the culmination of years of emotional buildup. The moment Amy sees Ty again is nothing short of breathtaking. She's been trying to move on for a long time in the shadow of his absence. But the truth is, there's always been a part of her that hasn't let go. When she sees him standing there, it's like time freezes. Amy's reaction shows that there is no way to prepare for this kind of reunion. She can't even process what she's seen for a split second because her eyes well up with tears. There's disbelief, joy, and a raw vulnerability in her face as she slowly realizes that Ty is really there in front of her after all this time. We get the impression that we are right there with her as she experiences that sense of shock and wonder because of the way the camera records her emotional journey. Amy doesn't jump into his arms right away. Rather, she takes a step back almost as if to make sure this isn't a cruel joke or a dream. The audience can feel the weight of everything she's been through, and her hesitation makes perfect sense. She doesn't just want to see Ty again because she loves him. It's about coming to terms with years of loss and grief. When she finally allows herself to embrace him, it's a bittersweet release. There is joy, but there is also a sense of fear that things might have changed, and fear that the life they envisioned might never be the same again. But despite all that, Amy's love for Ty is undeniable, and this reunion marks a turning point in her emotional journey. Then we have Lindy, Ty, and Amy's daughter. The emotional complexity of the adults contrasts beautifully with Lindy's reaction to seeing her father for the first time. This is pure joy for Lindy without hesitation or complicated emotions. She's been told stories about her father, heard all about the wonderful man he was, and now she gets to meet him. Anyone who is watching will be moved by the childlike innocence of her reaction. She runs to him with wide eyes, a beaming smile on her face, and in that moment, it's clear that she doesn't fully understand the weight of the years of grief that have passed. However, she is overjoyed to have him back in her life, and is certain that this is her father. It serves as a reminder that children love in its purest form. Lindy doesn't need to understand all the complexities of life and loss to appreciate the profound impact of having her father back. Her joy is contagious, and it brings a ray of light to what could otherwise be an overwhelming emotional scene. In many ways, Lindy represents hope for the future, a new beginning, and the potential for healing. Since the very beginning, Heartland has relied heavily on the wisdom of Jack Bartlett. His life has been a collection of victories. Failures, love, and loss, all of these experiences have shaped him into the man he is today. So when Ty returns in Season 19, Episode 1, Jack's reaction is rooted in both the love he has for Ty and his understanding of how fragile life can be. Jack is not one to rush into emotional displays, and that's evident when he first sees Ty. His immediate reaction is one of quiet contemplation. He doesn't show the overwhelming joy you might expect. Instead, there's a sense of reverence in his demeanor. The weight of the moment is too heavy for grand gestures. After all, Jack has lost so much in his lifetime: his wife, his son, his own brother, and each of those losses has taught him something important about life, love, and survival. So when Ty walks back into his life, Jack isn't just celebrating the return of a beloved family member. He's confronting the deeper layers of their shared history. Jack knows that this reunion won't undo the pain and the years of absence. He's seen what happens when people come back after long periods away. The emotions are complex. The healing isn't instantaneous. In many ways, Jack's reaction is that of a mentor, guiding Ty not just through the physical return to Heartland, but also through the emotional nuances of reconnecting with his family after such a long time apart. Jack's wisdom comes through in the way he speaks to Ty with a sense of calm assurance. He doesn't rush Ty into explanations or apologies. Instead, he gently invites him back into the fold of the family. His role here is clear. He's the rock, the steady hand, and the one who can offer both a sense of grounding and a quiet space for Ty to heal. In their conversations, Jack doesn't shy away from acknowledging the past. He understands the importance of confronting the grief that's been buried under the surface. But at the same time, Jack is someone who looks forward, not backward. He encourages Ty to embrace this second chance, not to dwell on what has been lost, but to focus on what they can rebuild together as a family. His wisdom lies not just in the things he says, but in how he listens, how he offers unconditional love without judgment. It's this wisdom that will help Ty navigate the complexities of his return, guiding him toward the healing and growth that's so desperately needed. Lou Fleming has always been the practical, organized one in the Heartland family. She's the one who keeps everything running smoothly, even in the face of emotional upheaval. So when Ty returns, her reaction is not the immediate joy or overwhelming relief that some of the others experience. Instead, Lou's feelings are much more complicated. On one hand, Lou is undeniably happy to see Ty back. He was a critical part of their family, someone who helped shape Amy's life and supported her through the toughest of times. The thought of him being back is comforting, especially for Amy, who has carried so much of the burden of raising Lindy alone. But on the other hand, Lou's reaction is mixed with a deep sense of unease. She's had to forge her own path in Ty's absence, making decisions and facing challenges on her own. Ty's return disrupts the life she has carefully built, and that creates a complex emotional landscape for her. There's also a sense of fear in Lou's reaction, fear that things might not be as they once were. Can they go back to the way things were before Ty left? Can Amy and Ty reclaim the love they had? And can the family truly heal? Lou is protective of her sister and her niece. And while she wants nothing more than for them to find happiness and peace again, she can't help but worry about the emotional upheaval that Ty's return might cause. After all, the past few years have been defined by loss and healing, and Lou is not someone who easily lets go of the scars from the past. But despite all of this, Lou is ultimately hopeful. Her reaction is grounded in the belief that love can heal even the deepest wounds. She's seen her family overcome so much over the years, and she believes that with time, Ty's return could bring about a new chapter of healing and growth for them all. Lou's hopefulness doesn't erase her fears or doubts, but it allows her to keep an open heart and an open mind. She's willing to give Ty the chance to prove that he's back for good and that this time, things can be different. Georgie has undergone one of the most profound transformations in Heartland. When we first met her, she was a troubled young girl dealing with trauma and the complexities of growing up. But over the years, Georgie has blossomed into a strong, confident young Georgie, has matured in ways that even she could not have anticipated when she first arrived at Heartland. She is now a young woman who no longer requires Ty to direct her every move. She's carved out her own identity, made her own mistakes, and found her strength along the way. But Ty's return has a deeper, more profound significance for her than just a simple reunion. Her reaction isn't impulsive or childlike. It is not the reaction of a person frantically clinging to the past. Instead, it's a sign of maturity and experience-based quiet comprehension. There is no uncontrollable emotion or wide-eyed wonder when Georgie sees Ty again. There is no desperate desire for the father figure he was to her in the past. Those feelings have evolved. Instead, she meets him with something far more powerful: respect. Pride. A sense of calm that comes from seeing Ty grow into a man, even from afar. She has witnessed both the weight of his absence and his return. Georgie is aware that Ty hasn't just come back. He has gone through his own trials, his own battles that went unnoticed. His return is complicated, with stories that haven't been told, with experiences of suffering and growth. Her emotional reaction is even and graceful. Yes, she acknowledges the miracle of his return, but she also acknowledges the lost time, the years without a conversation, touch, or shared moment. And still, she doesn't crumble. She doesn't break down. Because of her strength, Georgie takes the time to let the experience sink in. She breathes. She feels. And then, with the quiet conviction of someone who's grown into her own power, she offers Ty a warm, grounding embrace. Everything is said without saying a word with that one simple gesture. She doesn't need Ty as much as she used to. She's no longer the young girl looking for someone to hold her hand. She's become her own person, resilient, confident, capable. And yet, the love she has for Ty remains. The respect remains unwavering. It has changed, grown, and grown deeper. How Georgie helps Amy demonstrates her growth as well. She understands that Ty's return will stir an emotional storm in her mother. Rather than being overwhelmed by her own feelings, Georgie becomes a pillar for Amy too. She's not just reacting, she's present, thoughtful. She has a broader perspective. Her emotional maturity shines in how she holds space for both Ty and Amy, offering her support in a way that is gentle, loving, and profoundly selfless. Her response encapsulates a long and beautiful journey from a young woman who once required direction to one who is now capable of providing it. Georgie has stepped into a new chapter, not just as a daughter or a niece, but as a grounded member of her family, ready to face whatever the future holds with strength and grace. Then there's Tim. As always, his reaction is a study in contrast, a rough exterior trying to contain the emotional vulnerability just beneath the surface. Tim has long been the tough guy who shies away behind sarcasm and bravado and doesn't like to feel emotions. But Ty's return pierces through all that. It reveals something extremely human and raw. When Tim sees Ty again, the silence between them speaks louder than words. He never has to say much, so he doesn't. Instead, everything is made clear by his actions. The embrace he gives Ty isn't just a greeting. It's a release of years of worry, guilt, anger, and love. It's the kind of hug that stops you from crying, and it tells of brotherhood, forgiveness, and a longing that has been fulfilled. For that moment, the wall around Tim's heart cracks. And we get to glimpse the man beneath, the one who carries the weight of past mistakes, the one who has missed Ty more than he could ever admit. It is a moment that serves as a reminder to us that even the strongest and most difficult individuals are capable of tender, aching love. However, the scene in which Ty and Amy have a one-on-one conversation, finally able to face what has been kept a secret for far too long, may be the most moving and touching of all. For Amy, Ty's return is like reopening a wound and discovering that the heart still beats beneath it. The grief she's carried since losing him hasn't faded, it's just become a part of her. Every day as a single mother, raising Lindy without him, she's had to be strong. She's had to put one foot in front of the other. However, Ty's presence softens that strength. It does not go away, rather, it changes into something tenderly human, into love, and into vulnerability. In that conversation, Amy lays bare her sorrow, the quiet kind, the kind that builds up over the years. But with it comes something else, hope. A cautious, trembling hope that maybe, just maybe, they can find each other again, not as the same people they once were, but as the people they've become. Ty, too, is not the man who left. He's weathered storms of his own. Additionally, he carries guilt, fear, and regret, particularly for not being present when Amy and Lindy required him the most. He expresses those worries openly and wonders out loud whether they will ever be able to truly restore what was lost. But Amy, in her quiet strength, reassures him. They don't have to rebuild everything all at once. They can take it slow. They can take it together. What makes this moment so powerful is not just the love, it's the understanding. The acknowledgement that healing won't be easy, but it is possible. Their conversation isn't just a resolution. It's a new life. A rekindling of something deeper than romance, partnership, purpose, trust. It is evident at the conclusion of their conversation that, despite the long distance ahead, they have decided to walk it together. For their own sake. For Lindy. For the family they fought so hard to protect. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into Ty Borden's long-awaited return in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. What did you think of Ty's reappearance? How did you feel about the way each character reacted? Which moment hit you the hardest? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another Heartland breakdown. Until next time, keep flying high with Nextdoor, and I'll see you in the next video.